So hello everyone again. Welcome to today's presentation that will be done by Monji about an open source framework for rapid web application called Chalkit. So Monji, stage is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hello, everybody. My name is Monji Bengueid. I'm from IFPEN, which is the French National Research Center in Energy and Transportation. I'm glad to talk to you about Chalkit that we released in open source in March this year to help build quickly and easily web applications for Python code. First, let me talk to you about our project history and motivations. Our project started in 2016 as an internal tool at IFPEN called Xdash. Its objective was to help my colleagues, which were scientists or engineers, not computer scientists or not web developers, to build and share in an autonomous way interfaces for the scientific code they develop in the forms of web application, and that they were able to package as REST APIs, for example, using Flask for Python code. It was used internally. I had the pleasure to work with more than 50 colleagues that released more than 10 internal dashboards that were used internally and with our partners and in European projects. And our original idea, because I'm coming from a physical experimentation and simulation background, was to build a SCADA-like tool for scientific code. And so we started with Matlab code with API interface, then we integrated Python with Django. And we started integrating Python in our tool. In 2019, Python integration growed every year because our Python community of users growed also, until having Chalkit, which is fully compatible with Python. So we can only work in Python to do dashboards, and you can also use legacy methods, which is a mix of Python and JavaScript, and you can also use JavaScript. So exchange between JavaScript and Python is with JSON-like dictionaries. Some sample applications, just examples of how it was used at IFPN. For example, here is RockNet. It's AI, CNN, convolutional neural network. So the web app uses the the photo of the phone to take pictures of rocks and send them to CNN to identify the geological features. This was a rapid prototype done with Chalkit. Environmental monitoring, so it's a web page running in real time. So Chalkit has clock notion for interfacing with LabVIEW. So you see in real time gas concentration here measures, for example, to find leaks and to locate leaks in industrial sites. So here there are methane concentrations with methane leaks from an industrial site. And more largely, it was used in transportation and mobility activities, in collaborative projects, for example, here to validate electrical vehicle range algorithms, to validate also pollution and air quality at street level using crowd sensing, to work, for example, for French government. So it was an important project. There is an official French government site called jechangemavoiture.gouv.fr, and it helps everybody to find the best total cost of ownership of their car based on their questionnaire about their usage, and it was prototyped with Chalkit. Or twin model validation of GCOR. GCOR is an app that helps better drive car, avoid aggressive driving to less consume and less pollute, and its digital twin validation was done with Chalkit. So these are examples of dashboards. So I think Martin introduces why we do dashboards, so I think you are aware of the need. Quickly, just an example to be concrete. It's online here on GitHub pages. This is a dashboard made with few lines of Python code, the same spirit of Streamlit, with pandas, geopandas, Plotly, and our built-in version of Leaflet. It represents bike availability rates for the valid bike sharing system in Paris. So this is Paris, and it's an interactive dashboard. Okay, so I can here do geographical selection, and it provides a GeoJSON that's used in GeoPandas for doing selection and upgrading histograms, and that's an interactive dashboard. Okay, let's get started. So how can we use Chalkit? So we can install it with pip install PyChalkit, run it in the command line, or use an online hosted version, because it can fully run on the browser. It has this capability thanks to Pyodide. Okay, let's dive into the tool. What are the principles? And I think the major idea also inspiration with SCADA-like tools, physical experimentation, but from a software point of view, we developed a document-oriented and declarative framework. So the idea is that all you do in Chalkit will be stored in a project. It's a JSON file, like the IPyNB file format of the Jupyter Notebook. It will describe the dashboard, which is a set of widgets. And the widgets may be connected to data nodes. So data node is the most important concept in Chalkit. You can see it like a cell of a Jupyter Notebook. So it's a container for code execution. It can be Python code, JavaScript code. So Python code will produce an object to the workspace, JavaScript JSON. And application logic will be described with a keyword, data nodes, that allows to define a data flow execution. So it's declarative. So you define data dependency and execution dependency between data nodes, and that may be connected to widgets in a binding. So that way, we don't have to call about callbacks or computer science complexities for GUI. As it's declarative, the framework runs a data flow according to data flow rules in deadlock-free manner and in deterministic way. So that was the idea of really simplifying a graphical user interface for non-computer scientists. Okay, let me do a Hello World demo live. Things will become really clear after that. So here I launched Chalkit from my desktop. I will call it maybe EuroSciPy, like that. So this will create my document here. Okay, it's very, very, very simple demo, just adding two numbers and displaying them to make really things clear. So you see a rich dashboard with undo redo features, with also alignment features here I can use, sorry. Okay, each widget has properties, fonts, colors, sizes, proportions, parameters, ranges, etc. You can control position at pixel level, so it's flat layout design. To capture values from the sliders, I have to add data nodes of type variable. Here I take some initial values, A 40, B, for example, here 50. I have to connect them this way. And I can go to execution mode here. For example, change B. And see, I don't know if it's clear here on the screen. Yeah, you see it change. So you see the new value on the workspace and the time of change. Well, this is the first concept. Second concept, application logic orchestration. So I will try to compute the sum of the two numbers. Okay, I will take a Python script, Pyodide, that runs in the browser. And this is the most complicated thing in Chalkit. I have to ask him to use data nodes A and data nodes B, which means creating data dependency and execution dependency with data nodes A and B. This is data flow. So if you're familiar with data flow tools, this may be something simple for you. But this will allow me, so I can connect the result here to this widget. And of course, here, every time I change, this will change. Of course, there are advanced data flow control and execution control instructions. I don't have really the time to dive into the details, but you get here the big picture. I can save it here. Okay, it's EuroSciPy, I think it's here. This is my JSON document. Some colleagues like to change it programmatically and re-render the dashboard, so this can be done. And what I can do is preview or export my my dashboard in an HTML page that I can send to somebody else because it loads this runtime JavaScript from CDN. So if I send it, it should correctly work. It's a standalone web page because it's like it's embedding the project inside. So it's loading runtimes JavaScript and the document and making the rendering. Okay. Well, regarding features, you will find, standard type of controls, lists, multi-select. Here this is GitHub-like calendar to select dates with colors, file loaders, displays, markdown, images, sliders, gauges. Plots in Python, we support Matplotlib and Python. We support also e-charts from JavaScript, Plotly JavaScript and Viga. We have built-in support for leaflet and support for Folium maps. And we have interactive selection features that currently runs only for Plotly JavaScript, but we are working to extend them to Python. And there are features for doing multi-page apps. Sorry, so I can show you maybe here. I should have time for that. So you have only to split your screen. So I don't know, it's sliders and this configuration here, and I can switch here and can choose how to export to multi-page, and I can preview, and it should work here. I have 2 pages, so the other one is empty. Okay, let's do a more complex example. So what I'm trying to do here is to, I have a simple Jupyter notebook. It's daily electricity production in France. I wanted to turn it into a dashboard. Just to, these notebooks, we have to select a date, to call an API, do some cleanup, English translation in pandas, and perform a stacked bar chart with Plotly. In Chalkit, I already loaded pandas and Plotly to have, because Pyodide takes some time to be loaded. Okay, let's start. So I have to create maybe a date string here. And maybe before I should have added here a simple calendar. A Plotly Python widget here. I have to make it bigger. Okay. As I will be calling an API, I have to do URL encoding. So I will create here a data node. I will call it date URL. Okay, past that, take date URL, remind the data flow from my string, return date URL. Okay. Go to execution to initialize here. Sorry. Yes, I should have connected this with date. Sorry, it should work now. So now I have the date here. I have the date URL here. Okay, second thing, I have to take my get API. A bit complex. Here, okay. So I use data node type REST API. I called gilec. Okay, I think I should stop here. Okay, it should be good. And I should tell Chalkit to append. So it's a directive to append this one, so the string encoded date for the API. And if it works, yes, I have JSON result from Open Data. It's a French national open data on energy. Good, so here, okay, data frame, df. Okay, I can make it bigger. What I need to take here is the output from my API. I need to return a data frame. It works. And finally, I have to take my Plotly Python. Plot up. So here I need to reference the data frame data node and return the figure. If it works, I should get a Plotly Python object. And okay, let's test it. Yeah, it's working. Okay, and that way I think it's working. And here I've built this data flow diagram from my widget to my final dashboard. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, thanks. So I will conclude. So we have a rich roadmap to reduce frictions with Python. So you can use Pyodide, you can use Python with Flask. We would like to introduce themes and allow also users to work locally in favorite code editor. Yeah, if you need more information, but important information, Shortkit is from Xdash. There is a hosted version with collaborative features, means you can register and share dashboards with somebody else with a link, which is hosted on IFPEN infrastructure. So it's an open access. You can use it also if you need sharing service. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we'll have time for 2 or 3 questions. Yes.
So thanks for the talk. And I like that you said that you support Matplotlib plots, but I'm wondering about the performance. How interactive are the plots rendered? I guess there's some delay for the image rendering on the server side, or?
Everything now with Shortkit runs on client side.
Okay.
So because thanks to Pyodide, so historically we were JavaScript, and now we are Pyodide. We combine Plotly Python and Plotly JavaScript. It's technical, but Plotly Python only produced JSON for Plotly JavaScript. So, for example, Plotly. So the rendering is on client side. Yeah, so the limitation is browser memory, I think, and size of data in browser. So if it fits if data fits in the browser, it should be fluid. But if you have a huge of data with server, you need another tool, more adapted approach.
Okay, thank you.
What different kinds of data it can handle? Like, can it handle any image data or audio?
Originally, we had a JSON workspace format. So we convert binary to base 64. So yeah. So the limitation will be memory in the browser, always. So if you, for example, use the image load widget with Shortkit, it will be base 64 image. You can.
Any other questions in the meantime?
can we pass argument in the URL of the application? Like, for instance, to save, let's say, a view of the application. Let's say I want to send my colleague that report with value A equals 66, for instance. Can I, is there a way to pass it in the URL, the value of some parameters?
Of which parameter?
So for instance, you have the value of A,
Yeah.
and if I understand correctly,
Okay. It should be, I think, in next release. Yes, I think, yeah, there is a feature to export, yeah, the data node code and the data node results. So you can export here the data node result. This is possible, and we will include feature for exporting data node codes for use. Yeah, you use with your colleagues. Yeah, it will be in the next version because it's hidden. It's already there, but yeah.
So at the moment, there is no possibility to make like a snapshot or like some punctual time value or data value in a given URL. It's all dynamic basically. There is no snapshot of a given setting of parameters.
Plotly library, I think, has features for taking snapshots. Not Chalkit. Chalkit has no features now for taking snapshots for the whole dashboard. But for example, if you use Plotly or eCharts, you can do it. So here it's a snapshot from this Plotly plot.
One last question.
As you showed, we can export whatever we built into a HTML format. Can we also import the same and modify it?
Sorry?
For example, I built some pipeline and I exported it to HTML format and I sent it to my colleague. So if they want to change or modify something in it, can they import the HTML format into Chalkit?
Yeah, a very important question. Yes, they can import the XPR.json format. So, yeah, because here, yeah, I can open. So you know, when you run the command, it scans all files with XPR.json. So, for example, I can load this one, and yes, so yes. It's documents, so you can send the document. It's the XPR.json, this one.
Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.